Hey everyone, it's Mike from Orderflows here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you could join me for today's video, where I'll be talking about the Delta Flip. One of our subscribers wrote in the comments, make a video on the Delta Flip. But before I jump into what the Delta Flip is and how to look for it in the order flow, if you've been enjoying these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. And if you find today's video helpful, hit the like button for me and be sure to leave some comments below. Again, like today's video is based on a user comment. So your support, in that sense really goes a long way in helping me create more videos just like this one. So if you're getting value from this channel and want to see more, be sure to hit the subscribe button and let's grow together. Let's grow this channel out, try to make it the biggest one on, I think it's one of the biggest on Orderflow. But let's go ahead and get started on today's topic. All right, so the Delta Flip. Now, this is a setup that I first released several years ago. I actually used to have an indicator for this on NinjaTrader 7. I never actually ported it over to NinjaTrader 8 because it's just a very visual setup and basically what you're looking for. Okay, now let me just preface this. Not all setups that I talk about in order flow appear in every market. The Delta Flip doesn't necessarily appear a lot in, say, the E-minis. Now, in some of the other markets like crude oil, it appears more often. Okay, now, why is that? I can't give you a clear, definite answer. It deals, I think, a lot with the makeup of the actual traders that are trading that market. In crude oil, you don't get as much retail participation as you do in the equities. I mean, just on a margin basis, even on a discounted broker basis, I think, E-minis, you can open up account and you can trade with the $500 margin. Whereas with crude, I think, if you shop around, I think you could find it for about 2,000. So, you don't have as much of that speculative money in the crude oil that you have in the stock indices. Okay. And, when you have a lot of retail traders in a market, obviously the participation is higher and you have more volume, whereas commodity markets, crude oil is a commodity. The majority of the traders that are trading that market are doing so for a specific reason, right? Either, they could be an oil company or they could be a gas company and they need to hedge their book. They need to buy oil for delivery, things like that. So their needs are, I think, in my opinion, more expressed in the actual order flow that you see going through. So what is delta, right? We've talked about this in the past. Delta is a net difference between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers in a bar, right? So every bar is going to have a delta. Now the Delta Flip takes it a little step further. It looks at the max delta and the min delta. The max delta is how strong the positive delta was in a bar, okay? Min delta is how strong negative delta was in a bar. However, there's going to be times where either the max delta or the min delta is around zero, right? Where the aggressive buyers were never in control, right? That would reflect in the max delta. The max delta would be literally zero. They were never in control. Or maybe there were, for one or two contracts and that was it. And then you see a volume in the max delta of 1 or 2. Or same thing in the min delta, the aggressive sellers, right? If they were never in control, min delta would show 0. If they were just in control for like a split second, you'd probably have a min delta of -1, -2, -3. Now the Orderflows Trader software, we highlight those delta numbers, those min deltas and max deltas that are at 0 or 1, 2, and 3, or 0 and -1, -2, -3 for min delta, right? Min delta is always going to be negative, can be 0, but it's never going to be positive, just as max delta will never be negative. Max delta could be 0 or positive, right? Because max delta reflects the aggressive buying and min delta reflects the aggressive selling. And so what you're going to look for on a Delta Flip specifically is you're going to look for, first a red candle, right? And then once you got your red candle, then you're going to focus in on the deltas, right? The max and min delta as well as the final delta. For the first bar, in this case, it's the red candle. What you want to see is a small or 0 max delta, right? This is for a bullish signal, okay? So you're going to have a small or 0 max delta. Then the next bar is going to come in. It's going to be a green candle. And it's going to have a small or 0 min delta. -3 to me is small. And what you're going to want to see also is the final delta closing somewhere near the max delta. Okay, 107, obviously the 7 contracts off 114. This is a delta flip. So you had very strong aggressive selling because it was all aggressive selling in the sense of, you know, the max and min. That doesn't mean there was no aggressive buying. It just means that there was no aggressive buying taking place to cause the max delta to go positive. Okay, because obviously there's volumes trading on the offer, right? You can see 6, 22, 32. So there is aggressive buying. It's just that the max delta was 0. Aggressive buyers were never in control. And it's nice if also the final delta of the first bar is close to either the max or min of that bar. Okay, so here you got a case where the red bar down, it's -210 delta. It's right near our -215 delta, 0 max delta, followed by a green candle with small min delta -3 and max delta of 107, which is closing right near its max delta number of 114. Okay, and you see the move up because what you had is you had this green candle right here with strong aggressive selling, and it's followed back with strong aggressive buying. And you see the market went up. Now, again, you got to always try and take it in context of the market. Okay, market had been going up. We pull back a little bit and keep going up. You get up here, okay, you can see there's a couple potentially bearish signals here. Okay, you can see there's a min delta of -3, but a positive, then the next bar, it's got a max delta of 0, right? But like what I said, you want this first bar, you want it to be closing somewhere near its max delta, because this bar, it's got a delta of 4. The max delta is 59, even though it's got a min delta of -3. Technically, the delta is still positive, but 4 is very weak, and we're not closing, you know, near our max delta number. It's just -4. Okay. Now the next bar, right, this red bar is what you like to see, right? You see the max delta of 0, min delta of -87, final delta of -81. It's just that this first bar isn't, you know, technically what you're looking for, right? You want to see, in this case, since it's a bearish signal, you're going to want to see a nice positive delta somewhere near our max delta number. You know, if it was 50 or 47 or something, yeah, I would like it. But 4, no, that's not good enough. Then you're getting over here. Okay, now here's another example. You've got min delta of 0, final delta of 50, max delta of 79. Okay, then the next bar, -69. Min delta is -69, max delta is 0. Okay, this is what I would like for a sell-off. We're up here near the high. Next bar doesn't even go any lower than this red candle here, where you're looking at the flip to take place. So this flip obviously didn't work, right? Market went back up. It started making new highs. So again, you have to take into account, right, what's coming in after the flip. I talk about this a lot. It's not just that, oh, okay, I have a flip here, I got to get short. Well, you still need the market to move in that direction, just like over here. Okay, it didn't happen on the next bar, but it happened on the second bar after the flip took place. That's your go signal, right? Here's your flip, and you don't even go lower than this bar, this red candle. That's not a good sign, right? It's probably not going to work. If you can't even take out that low, if you're looking to get short and you're trading up, that's a trade that's going to fail on you 9 times out of 10. The market should start going in that direction. There was some decent selling early, right? Because the bar had a -52 delta. So there was some selling taking place here at the bottom of this candle. But instead of that selling that was taking place was being absorbed and the market went higher. But again, these 2 bars, it's setting up for the flip, but then you need the trigger to come in and the market to start trading a little bit lower. If it's not trading lower, it's no go. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. Here's one little one down here. Okay, It's a little flip taking place here. If you could see 0 max delta followed by 0 min delta, minus 122 min delta, minus 80. Okay, you know, it's not minus 8 like we saw earlier in that bar, so it's a decent delta. Then 164 and 167, next bar starts to go higher, right? It starts to go up a little bit. It's not a massive move, but then it starts to come off a little bit here. Sort of coming back down into this area in here. People will say, well, what about this? Is this a flip here? Okay. It's a red candle with positive delta, even though the max is positive, the min is -1. This is not really what it's supposed to look like. If it's going to be a bar, if you're going to be looking to get short, right, because this is the negative delta here, you'd want a green candle here, right? And it's not coming in. Then here it's sort of flipping again. You can see 3 and then 0. You know, next bar starts to go up. It's just sort of going sideways. That puts us right where we are right now. But like I said, in markets like E-minis, you don't see it that often. This is a 1-minute chart. Just because I think volume is distributed much better in a market that's got a lot of retail participation in it. I don't really see anything taking place here. Maybe on an 8 range chart it might look a little bit different. What is this? That's a 1 minute. Let me just flip it over to an 8 range. Because, you know, it's depending on the type of chart you're using, you know, it's going to format the data differently. But I don't really see any coming in here either. And again, you know, people will be like, well, what about this, right? Even though there's a space, this bar here would need to be a red candle. Say this bar and this bar, right? Say there was no bar here in the middle. This would need to be a red candle for that to be a flip, in the purest sense. Yeah, I'm just scrolling back. So like I said, in the E-minis, you know, not so much. This is British pound. I'm just curious. Now, when you're on markets that trade thinner volume, you got to be careful, okay? Because, like, for example, this is a British pound 1-minute chart, and you're going to be seeing potential flips happening left and right, you know, on markets that trade thin volume, right here, you know, potentially one here, potentially one here. But the volume's 32 contracts, you know, 167, you know, 95 contracts. You want to be trading a market that puts in decent volume rather than, you know, sort of light volume. If anything, you know, maybe trade, you know, a chart that's going to give you, it's going to format the data in a way that you're going to get some decent volumes. You know, one way, you know, here's a 8 range chart, and it's, you know, it's giving you decent volumes, trade around 1,000 contracts, 800, as opposed to just, you know, 37, 64 or something. But I don't see anything here in the British pound really today. Now, if you want to get a little bit more fancy, you could sort of take it over 3 bars and disregard the bar in the middle as just sort of market facilitating trade, if you will. You know, for example, right here, 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, and with the 1 bar in the middle taking place. But there's different ways to trade it. You know, the first way I showed you is sort of the pure way to trade it that I used to look at it. I don't see anything else there on the 8 range in the British pound. Let's just go back. I think I had a euro, or sorry, this is the E-minis 8 range chart. Nothing going on in here. You know, and again, you know, don't be like, oh, this is a flip here, right? Because it's -9, right? Maybe you think that -9 is good enough for you, but the min delta is only -9, and the final delta is at -9. You'd want a solid negative delta on that bar, on that high. Markets. Let's see what let's run through a bunch of other markets. This is bunds, I believe, here. Let's see if there's anything happening in the bunds, because bunds is a nice contract to trade. It trades decent volume. you know, kind of here almost, but yeah, it's just not enough volume in there. I like to see decent volume go through. And this is what I was talking about, where you can almost have one bar in the middle, like here, minus 47, minus 71, but that's a green candle. I should have this thing reprogrammed, put it back in the lineup. You know, here's your one bar in between here, right, with your negative delta, your zero max. Here's your zero min. This bar, it's not a green candle. Second bar, you're going to go in the direction of the color of the candle. So if it's a doji bar, that would not qualify. And see if there's anything else really, you know. This one, no, because it's a red candle, right? If you're gonna have the positive delta on the second candle, it should be a green up candle, not a red down candle. So you're gonna say here and here, but it's red, red. Okay, that's not what you're looking for. Again, I'm just sort of scrolling through here, see if there's any more instances of the delta flip. You know, kind of this, again, ignoring this middle candle, the zero min, zero max, with the one candle in between, right? Then you got your green up candle, your red down candle. You know, people say, well, what about this? Well, this bar's only got 2 price levels. I like to have at least some price movement in a bar rather than just 2 price levels. I like to see, you know, the bar cover 3, 4, 5 price levels rather than just 2. Okay, well, that's that. Let me just really quick. Curious gold today. You know, like again, here's where the bar, ignore the bar in the middle. 1 max minus 2 min, closing near its closing near its max delta here. Here, this is close enough, minus 104 versus minus 78, you know, right off at the low of the day to get a nice little rally. This would sort of set up to be a potential short, but again, we don't even go lower than this bar. Yeah. This is interesting. This is not what I like. It's a green candle with a negative delta versus the red candle with a nice positive delta. I just need these candle colors flipped. I also like to put price action, some sort of price movement into into the analysis rather than just strictly off the delta itself. I mean, you could, but I just find it's more prudent to also use some sort of price action in your analysis, price movement, if you will. So anyway, guys, I'll end this video there. Hopefully you get sort of the understanding of the delta flip. Again, we used to have an indicator for this back in NinjaTrader 7. We don't have it on NinjaTrader 8. It's something you can see, but honestly, when it's just a pure, going off that pure delta by itself, you really need to add in other analysis to it, right? I'm a big believer in letting the market take you in. So you got to be watching that the market is moving in your direction, because, you know, when you're just analyzing delta, you're just analyzing the difference between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers. You're not analyzing price movement at all. So that's why I say you got to add in some sort of price action, some price movement into the analysis to make the delta flip more effective. All right. So thanks for joining me on this video. I hope I didn't confuse you guys even more. So if you found this video useful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, contents. And again, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this video, or if you got any suggestions for another video, let me know. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.